Hello, everyone in the SHL universe. Welcome to the J Tonight on a Monday night. Hopefully, we are going to kind of keep this a little bit short, but get it going on the new season and cover some of the stuff that happened last week. As always, I am joined by my co-host, Toaster. How are you doing this today?
A little stressed, frantic last minute packing, but hey, we're here now. Getting the show out for everyone.
Get to do a quick show before hitting the road and getting a nice vacation. So everybody deserves that.
A few hours of sleep before dealing with the airport.
Yep. You have to fly. You have to leave real early tomorrow, so that's part of the reason why we're not going to try to go the full hour, but go as close around there as we can, I guess.
Wherever the show takes us.
Wherever the show takes us. So very, very exciting time. Actually Saturday is when it wrapped up. So we'll get right into it. Let's just start off by congratulating the St. Louis Scarecrows as they are your season 82 4-star cup winners. And Toaster is the co-GM of the St. Louis Scarecrows. So you take over for this part to celebrate.
I'll take absolutely zero credit for us winning the cup. For the current team, I've done nothing since taking over co-GM. It's been all Cake doing tactics and co-GM before that put the team together with Jimmy. But for the first time in 10 seasons, the St. Louis Scarecrows hoist the cup, which I was looking. Well, Colonel Sanders actually pointed this out first. Apparently, going to Game 7 against the Nevada Battleborn is the secret to winning the cup.
Really?
We did it this season. Carolina did it last season. Last time the Scarecrows won the cup, they also did it. So
that would have been a fun trivia question. That could have been a really great one to have. I was actually shocked that you guys did it in 6. I thought it was I had picked Kelowna. I'd also picked Maine, but we'll get into that later. But really, congratulations. It's really awesome what you guys were able to do, what Cake and Jimmy have been able to build over there. And you guys, St. Louis absolutely took off this
Yeah,
season. So
not the
well,
highest of TP teams, but mostly all active, cheering each other on, and Cake making magic happen.
really well deserved. Which I'll go ahead and post the trivia question. We don't have many viewers in here. Hopefully, we'll get more coming. It is tough on a Monday night this late. But tonight's trivia question, kind of just scrolling through it, and I found it. So the last time that Kelowna, so not this 4-Star Cup, but the last time that Kelowna and St. Louis met in the playoffs, who won and what was the series record in that battle? First person to answer will get 100K SHL bucks to buy a Ruby pack. For those who are not getting into the trading cards, it is definitely worth getting into. And also for a small donation, you can get 10 extra base packs for your yearly donation every month. And those hit today as well, because I was checking my card packs as I do every morning when I go to buy my Ruby pack, which I would love for a Ruby pack to be automated as well. So I can
would be very helpful. Speaking of which, I'm going to go buy my Ruby pack right now.
My morning routine is literally to just get on to Chirp and then immediately go into the card shop and buy a Ruby pack, and then I close out for the forum for a little while until later on in the day when I start scrolling and looking. That has always been my strategy. And then some mornings, like it'll be like late afternoon, and I'll be like, did I buy my Ruby pack? And I'll have to go back and look at how many cards I have versus how many base packs I have versus how many Ruby packs I have to know if I bought it for that day. Or I'll just click buy and it'll be like, you can't buy another one. So that is the trivia question. It's actually an interesting one. It's not too hard to find. I'll give the hint of go into the portal, go into history, and or that's not actually how I found it. I found it from the index. So go into the index and check out playoff brackets throughout the year. You'll get to it. It's a little bit shocking, especially if you haven't been in the league that long, of when the matchup took place and what the series record was. Did you know the answer before you saw the answer on the show sheet?
Nope.
Part of me wants to hide the answer from you sometimes just to see if you figure it out. Because sometimes I'm like, I shouldn't put the answer up, but my fear is if I don't put it on the show sheet, I'll forget the answer.
And you can put it on there and then change the font color to white so I can't see it.
I should do that. That's the new game plan. Or I'm just gonna put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Hi, Cake.
I'll send it to yourself on Discord.
Congratulations on the 4-Star Cup and the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, doubled up on
do both
the trophies.
That was a great way to go. Always better late than never. So,
missed out on all my praise already.
So today is the first day of season 83.
Yeah.
Which meant that season training was unlocked. Seasonal coaching was unlocked. And now we're getting into the crux of the off season, which is a very busy time for both of us.
Yep.
You stepping into the co-GM role over at St. Louis. And then news
for the first announcement of
there it is.
Oh, look at him.
Came in the mail today. I got it in time for the show today. It's not why we did it, but being named GM over at Kelowna, and hitting the ground running right after yesterday. I was kind of working on stuff behind the scenes. I told Pyro once I got hired that I didn't want to come into the locker room until after the cup was over, just because, I just wanted to be in the background. But during that time, we had already negotiated the trade to get my player out of Anchorage, which is very, very sad. I greatly appreciate everything that Figgy did, everything that Hot Dog, Blues Fan, all of them over in the War Room Loom, just absolutely great people that I learned from over the last 2 seasons. And when I was considering applying for the GM position, Figgy said, absolutely go for it. You deserve it. Didn't stand in the way, but we still had to, which he made out. I mean, he made out on trading me because he only spent a third rounder on me. Only had me for 2 seasons, and he got a second rounder. He was very fair in it because that's what it would have cost to draft my player anyways. So very fair, very well to go. I'm very excited to be in Kelowna. My first conversation wasn't actually with Pyro. It was with Rookie, who reached out to me immediately. We talked for a while about, where they were at in the Kelowna locker room, what, they were willing, what they wanted to do to help me. And immediately after we talked for a little bit, I just went, look, my game plan was always to hire a co-GM that was on the team as well. And if you want it, it's yours. I want you to be my co-GM. So that was my first hire, is hiring Rookie on as my co-GM. And I think we will make a great team in Kelowna. I'm excited to be a Knight and hopefully revenge that loss against St. Louis.
Back-to-back final appearances.
Huge shoes to fill. And I immediately said that when I came into the locker room. Pyro and Frost are amazing at what they do. They set it up very well when they knew that they were leaving. I can't think. I mean, I'm messaging Pyro daily now. They're going to stay on and be there to help. They're making it a very smooth transition, a very welcoming transition, and Kelowna's their baby, and they're making sure that it's going to be continually good. And I want that. I told them I wasn't coming in to change anything. Kelowna's worked. What they've done has worked. Yep. I'm coming in to kind of add my own flavor, but ultimately still follow the way that they've done. So very excited, very happy. But now we have to scout. Yep. Me and you both are now scouting, because it's our main job now.
It is our duties.
So that's the fun part coming up, and we get the expansion draft was yesterday. Kept me entertained while I was driving back from Charleston, South Carolina, and the SHL draft,
bits and pieces of it. As I was at work.
That's the other thing to talk about. We were going to host it. I immediately knew that I was out of town that weekend. It really sucked for me the day that it fell on because I wanted to host it. Mm-hmm. But I was already had this trip planned. It was a basketball tournament that I coach in and just could not get out of it. Wasn't going to get out of it. You and Cammie were going to host it, but then you got called in to work on Sunday. And
my 15th through 21st hour of free work that week. I hate inventory. I'm glad it's done. Don't have to do it for another year.
Now you get to go on vacation for it.
Yep.
And just shout out to Jess and Frenchie for stepping up, doing a great job on the show. The stream was excellent the way they did it. A lot better than I think we could have done it. It's beneficial having somebody like them on the stream that know a lot of the players, know the history, and they did a great job. Even though we couldn't be there, it was a great stream. They did a great job. Shout out to them for, just killing it yesterday on short notice.
Very short.
On very, very, very short notice. That's the thing I love about the SHL is how fast people step up when there's an emergency and something needs to be filled. We all have real life issues. And so, sometimes the ball just kind of lands and somebody picks it up and runs with it. And Jess and Frenchie took it and absolutely killed it. So let's get into our first segment. The the recap from the conference finals. So let's go over our predictions, and then we'll see how we did. So first up, my prediction for the St. Louis versus Maine was I felt like Maine was going to win it in 7.
I don't remember if I said St. Louis in 6 or 7, but I saw it probably going to 7 based off the first 2 series.
And it looked like after the second sim day that it was going to go to 7.
It was tied 2-2.
Yeah, because it was home team won the first 4 games. And then
very close games, each one, but
yes,
home team did take it out each time.
That it was really fun to watch it. Just because of how close it was. And I still kept thinking that Maine was going to pull it out. But they didn't. St. Louis took it in 6.
Yep.
Broke the streak of 7s.
Yep.
And
the joke in the locker room was the St. Louis 7 can only win in 7. Yep. And we proved that wasn't true.
It was and then Kelowna versus Vancouver. You had...
Very wrong. I had the Whalers in 7.
I had Kelowna taking it in a very tight game 7, and it was not that. Kelowna absolutely made very quick work of Vancouver. None of the games were close at all. And basically Kelowna won their first 12 playoff games. Yep. And honestly, through their 12, I said it in GM chat that the best team they faced through those 12 games was Anchorage, because Anchorage was the only team to actually take them to an overtime. We made them play 5 games if you add the overtimes together. So
their toughest competition.
So that was it was funny because as soon as I got hired on at Kelowna, and the first message that Pyro sent me was, if it isn't the guy that picked Anchorage in 7. And I said I'd never picked Anchorage in 7. I said that we'd take it to 7 games, and we got to 6 games, or we got to 8 games over the past 2 years. So I wasn't completely wrong.
There, you passed 7 in there somewhere.
yeah, we got 7 games. It just took us 2 years to get to it. So then it set up for the 4-Star Cup match, which we already know what happened. St. Louis took the cup. They took it in 6.
Which I also thought was going to be St. Louis versus Whalers, also going to 7.
Yep. And I think I had Kelowna winning against Maine in 6.
That sounds right, but I'm not sure.
And so I will take full blame. I shouldn't say this since I'm just now joining the locker room of Kelowna. I might have jinxed them in GM chat when I said, if St. Louis gets swept, can we agree that Anchorage is the second best team since we took them to overtime?
Was a little interesting choice there.
It was. It was a bad choice.
It's like mentioning a shootout, then it ends, or a shutout.
It was. I will gladly admit that it was the wrong choice to make. But
you just didn't want to take over a cup winner. That's all right.
That might have played a little bit. I wasn't rooting against them, but I was really hoping for that. I said I'm just doing this for the memes at this point, and I didn't. Hockey gods did not bless me with memes, unfortunately. The FHM gods did not bless me with memes. So overall, season 82 was a really great season. I think, it's still, I think, the last 2 seasons have been really top heavy. Looking through this history, it usually stays that way. I think that's what excites me about being a JGM, is because, it's it's quick up, quick down. You go through the flows, and it kind of highlights just how impressive, if a team's able to win 3 cups in a row, how impressive that is.
Yeah.
Because of, and then, this year, the J has the added on issue of who's getting called up because of the expansion, with teams losing players. That's what we're going through right now of, trying to game plan what the Kelowna roster is looking like heading into next season, heading into the draft. And then, expansion isn't only going to be felt right now, it'll be felt for the next couple seasons.
Next couple seasons while the J stocks back up.
Yeah, so hoping that, we get a really good, a lot of the teams are full. That's that's going to be another point. So it'll be overall love season 82, looking forward to season 83. Hope that it's Kelowna versus St. Louis again in the 4-Star Cup, and
for some passionate predictions.
Yep, it'll be a fun Jay Tonight show leading up into that, where we're just arguing with each other the whole time. Any closing remarks on season 82?
I just hope that season 83 ends the same way.
Spoken like a cup winner. All right. Well, coming up next is starting. I think it's starting next week, is World Juniors. For those out there, we will not have a show coming up this weekend, which I think that might be something that we do consistently. Is I don't know if we should have a show during SHL draft weekend. It's SHL's time to shine. The weekend after that is when the J draft is, and we'll have a lot of inside knowledge going on.
Going busy weekend for us.
Yeah, but we'll have a show that weekend. It's Father's Day weekend as well, so that's going to be even more fun. And then we're also having shout out to my son. It's his birthday today. We celebrated all day.
Hey.
And then we're having his birthday party on the 14th, so which will be draft weekend as well. So
busy weekend.
It's gonna be a fun time. But heading up into that draft, we have World Juniors, and the teams have been getting announced. Let's kind of flip through those, if I can get the site to cooperate with me.
A little bit harder to find some of them, since I think they started clearing the media out already, but that's no big deal.
They did. Let me. I'm going to go into share screen real quick. Again, our trivia question is the last time, not this season, but the last time Kelowna and St. Louis met up in the playoffs, what was the series record, series score in that? So we're going to go over the split. Nope. There it is. Took me a couple tries. At least I didn't exit completely.
It's late. It's all right.
It is. And I have so many tabs open. Okay, yeah. Let me get out of this one. Okay. I can now. Nope. There it is. So I'm gonna apologize. I really need to organize my tabs. Really badly need to organize my tabs.
We've got plenty open. It's all right.
It is miserable. So I'm just gonna go through what I could find, and then other teams I do kind of know who's drafted. And if I get in trouble, I'll just blame the GM for not posting it. So first I come up to is season 82 Canada Black Squad. Zoom in on this.
Let me get out my binoculars to see here.
Yep. Can you see it better now?
Yeah.
So this is Canadian Black Squad. It is GM'd by Icewind Dale. Really good squad. Aaron Noxus, Bo Bodrew, Chuggle Ben. You know him.
Scarecrow represent. One of our lost 4 after this
Colton Paragicko, Ethan Cross, Gabriel Savoy. Not to read all of them. Chris Gaines is on that team. Mel Gula. You are on that team.
I'm on that team.
So how are you feeling about your team? KJ Daniels and net?
Pretty good squad. We've got a couple Scarecrows on there and a couple top scorers from across the league as well.
It is a very, very good team. I think it's going to be a tough team to play.
Yep.
And then we'll go into season 82 Rhine. Going down, this is France, Germany, and Switzerland World Junior teams, all put into one. This is another good team too. You got Emo LeBron, Golfani, Ryan Dino Nuggets Hopkins, Thomas Passarelli.
The
defense is
Alphabet
always
twins.
The ABC twins.
Those are yours now.
Yeah,
announcing those.
My buddy Oscar Svengard is on that team. Future Texan and Bindewald is on there, and then you got Jose Border and Joe McPackstack, and it's GM'd by Ryan Dino Nuggets Hopkins, RLG 91. That's another really strong squad.
Yep.
So it's on B. And then going into Sweden. Sweden's always a very popular nation in SHL, and this is this year's team. 01 plays. I think he's the GM of this team, if I'm not mistaken, along with Raj. Make sure I'm not getting comments that are saying stuff wrong. Just going through a lot of head office people on this team too. Mm-hmm. And so John Gibson going to be playing a heavy loaded net.
Which he's used to.
Leo Carlson, really good player by Raj. Just overall, another strong team. I don't know if it gets up there to the Canadian Black team, but still very solid squad. And then USA Blue. Now, I'm going to scroll through. This is a big graphic. Big graphic. I like the way they did it. I love the graphic. Have all their centers. Ace is on that team. Jordan 4-4. Dr. Wad. J-Dub. Swiffer Sweeper. Greg
I believe
Evil.
This is the team that the whole Fourth Line podcast
This is the Fourth Line podcast. That's what I was going to say. The Evil's back actually GM'd them last year, and he did a great job with tactics. He really just ate into the tactics of FHM, and so this is going to be I honestly put this team as probably one of the top favorites. I'd probably pick them to win World Juniors because not only is it such a strong squad, but J-Dub, is an excellent Anchorage player, and he actually played center most of the last 2 years over in Anchorage, and Pesky Perch is a great forward as well. So Very solid squad out of USA Blue. And then we come to my team, the Rats.
Your team.
Rats. So I'll be GMing this with none other than Colonel Sanders. I'm so excited to be GMing with him during World Juniors. And we had a blast because the Ratvia roster is very small. So we had to take on we had to bring in and love on the ones that were not loved by their own countries. And I feel like we have a really decent squad.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid roster looking at.
Me and Harlan Sanders in there, and then you have some really good rookies and Joe Schmo, Nathan Bodine,
Midnight.
Cheese. Yep. So just solid. I mean, we picked up a lot of good rookies because of this. Our defense is very solid. You have Ashes, you have Pasta the Turtle, Zach Mulder, Sandus Zarzans, and then Tiny Princess. And then we were able to add on John Taffer. Yes, that John Taffer, aka Duff 101. Loved him in the locker room in Anchorage. He was there. I jumped all over him to bring him over and be a rat for this season. And then
Tiny Princess might be one of my favorite names to build 100%. Sheet because I'm pretty sure they're like 6'11".
Yep.
Pretty big. Not a tiny princess at all.
I love the way that they did their player. Our weakest spot is going to come out of goalie. Forwards, I feel like we have a solid, even though it's lower on the TP forward core. Our goalies are going to be the question because there was no actual Raffia goalies. So bringing in Hattie Minch, which, you know, they were a really good goalie during the J season, and CJ Foley. So hopefully it translates. Honestly, I feel like we have a chance to get into the the tournament round and maybe create some noise. Yeah. If everything falls our way, it'll be a good World Juniors for the Rats.
Strong defensive core, so the goalies might not see a whole lot of action.
Hopefully our defense blocks more shots than our goalies have to. And then moving on to Finland. Another really, very popular nation in SHL.
Where I created until I was convinced at gunpoint to go somewhere else.
I'm surprised you got recruited over to Canada. That's impressive.
Yeah. Well, Quebec, but
Quebec, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So just scrolling through, I'm just going to scroll through these. Wally being on Team Finland, really good player. Jurt as well. So overall, really good Finnish squad.
Yep.
And then trying to speed this up so we're not USA White. So Seven and Sofim will be GMing USA White, and this is another strong squad.
A couple of big names on there.
big names. Luke, you have Thurston Bull out in the Boonies, Boogan McKilligutty, Boone Breakaway. Shout out
playoff
to
point leader Dakota Glover.
Yeah. A lot of renegades on this team. Team. Good defense too. Vasher Summers was on USA White last year as well, with Mitch Morris. Played pretty well. The goalies being Florence and Jack. So that's going to be a tough squad to face. And I think that's it on this page.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the ones that. Oh, there we go.
You might have. Oh wait, no, never mind.
Did I do it wrong?
I might have missed the British Isles. I don't know which page you were on though.
I was on the graded ones already. Did I miss that one? Let's see.
There it is. 5th one from the bottom.
Wow, I completely missed that one. Really good graphic on this one, too. I remember this one. Chapel Roan, Kellen McMahon, the Carolina player. That's all the Carolina players' name in it. My buddy Yoshi, he will actually be playing for the Japan IHF team as well, so double duty for him. Benevolent, Twinkle Toes, Cauliflower Pizza, pretty solid team.
And solid squad for British.
They actually did pretty well last year too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think overall it's gonna be a good run for them. And these are where they're all listed as well. I love the people that put the time in to do the graphics.
That graphic is so nice.
And then we'll go into the non-graded ones. Team World was posted here recently. They have a pretty decent, albeit smaller, pool to pick from. A lot of rookies on this one. A lot of rookies. Yuri Satoshi had a great season for Kelowna, the goalie here with Faraday. Rocco Kirby had a good season, and Luca Liljud with both of them out of Anchorage this season. And then Rondalis Ringo Ramat is also another good defensive player.
Star rookie.
Yep. Anybody else pop off at you?
Let's see. Charles Leclerc is a solid rookie there. Cone bookbinder.
Yep. Lionel Messent was a 82, I believe. So
that sounds right.
And then Czechia World Juniors roster. As we're coming up.
Let's see. James T making a final appearance in World Juniors before he gets called up.
Let's see who else is on this one. Nelly Selly. Sin Noodles.
Junior Chicken.
Ricer 13. He was one of the goalies for Anchorage. And Jack Ryan also being on there too. So some good goalies, good rookie goalies going on that.
Yep.
Chubby Barista. And go
solid
on.
roster there.
That was Czechia, right?
Yep.
And then Norway. Norway's a good one. Infidel, and I believe Hedek is GMing this team. Pride Tape. I love that name. Pride Tape. Captain Crunch.
That's a season 84 player, I believe.
Yeah, no, that's why I was pointing that out. No, I did not say that because that would be considered illegal. Jordan Lafreniere, Mikel Jordan. Really, I mean, again, a decent squad that they've filled in with other players. Yeah. Colleen Devine, Mike Rich Colt, Perry Fields, another Anchorage defender.
There you go.
Rookie defender. And then Canada Red. So this is the one going up against you.
Another solid
very,
roster.
very solid roster. Yep. So for those that don't know, Canada and USA are the two biggest pools, and they have their own draft where they split them up into two teams, and the GMs pick players as it goes. So you could be Canada Red one season, Canada Black the next season, USA White. You can, you don't stick with that same team. Johnny Hockey coming in. I'm excited that he's able to play World Juniors this season. just because of the amount of goalies last season, he wasn't picked to play, and so I'm very excited that he gets the experience World Juniors and has a really great goaltending partner in Beebe with him.
Gene Bond, solid St. Louis defender on there.
Yep. So what are your predictions for World Juniors? I don't have the schedule, unfortunately. I wish I did. What do you think? And chat, put it in there on how you think World Juniors is going to go.
We will say Canada Black, not a homer pick at all, taking gold.
I think it's
so.
I honestly, my non-homer prediction is going to be, it's probably going to be Canada Black versus USA Blue, if that's how it works out. Again, I haven't seen the schedule. If that's the case, I pick USA Blue. I think Evil is going to be a really, really great GM. And he showed it last year in World Juniors. And I think he'll show it again this year. Just the way that he eats up information and puts it in there. Hey, Rich. So I think bronze will be rats.
Okay.
Is where I'm going with it. We're going to play a strong defensive game and just try to win low-scoring affairs.
You only need to score one if you hold the opponent to 0.
That is exactly right. And you don't need a goalie if you're really good at blocking shots.
That's true. Just have the entire team stand in front of the net.
Yep. That's all we're going to do. Just nonstop, like the last scene of Goon. So I think it's gonna be a great World Juniors. It's so quick, but it's a blast. It happens also like when there's so much going on, because like this week, and I think that's why it's really good that we did the show and SHL did their SHL Tonight did their show as well. This week it's kind of like slow. It's a very slow week because there's not a whole lot going on until the SHL draft happens, and then next week World Juniors IHF starts up, and throughout that, then you get like as that is still going on, you have the J draft, and who knows, there might be something else that pops up that's exciting coming up. That will be very, very fun to watch. We will see. If it doesn't happen, then it'll just be a video of me in my swim trunks sitting on the beach. But that's exciting for people too. Shawnee said, if it's, oh my God, it's my worst enemy and my best friend on the same screen. I don't think you should call Toaster your worst enemy. He didn't do anything to you. That's really upsetting to Toaster. Yeah. But next episode, we will dive deep into why Vancouver needs to rebrand.
Well,
we'll bring on Greenpeace too to break it down. But it's I'm very excited for World Juniors. I'm excited to work alongside Harland and kind of co-GM with that. So that will be fun. But yeah, I think my pick is going to be USA Blue and Canada Black. I think those are the top two teams going into.
I agree with those two for the top two, and then
the Rats will sneak in there. The Rats are going to sneak in there.
Rats for bronze or Finland for bronze.
Rats always sneak in there, and that's what we're going to do.
So,
if you read my media, you would really know how well I wrote that. So off-season happenings, like I said, SHL expansion draft happened yesterday. Entry draft coming up this weekend. And then the J entry draft for those season 84 players who are making their way in now will be going there. Like I said, new season, new time to purchase, training, rookies coming in now.
Yeah, rookie bonuses should be coming through for whoever's been active throughout the whole season.
Rookie bonuses getting paid, job pay. It's like a big payday today. You got paid for your jobs today?
I don't think so.
I got paid for my job, so like my bank account went down and then it went right back up. I was excited about that.
This is rigged.
Well, you know,
where's my money?
Maybe if you did your job, you get paid.
That's right. I didn't do a single job that I have.
Shawnee said, "Did y'all talk about how it was becoming co-GM and GM in the same season? What are some challenges you expect in the future?" Patrick, how was the locker room in Kelowna following that? It's a really great question. So me and Toaster, ever since early last season, we were always talking about plans, what we wanted to do. I don't think either of us thought we'd be co-GM / GM this quickly.
Yeah, I thought it'd be 4 or 5 seasons in at least before we move up.
And honestly, I remember when I was getting scouted by Figgy, he asked me if I had any interest in that. Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, probably several seasons down the line. I can't imagine jumping into it quickly. And then just kind of the way everything fell, the way I ate up the league and how much I loved doing stuff in the league. When it's so weird because when these jobs are announced, like when St. Louis or when Carolina was announced, when 7 moved up, you know, Kari's such a great co-GM that you know automatically Kari's moving up.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, a lot of times when these, you know, the GM position opens up, there's a really good co-GM option behind them.
Yeah, sort of a natural successor that you see every time.
And so, you know, the game plan for me was always stay in Anchorage. If the code spot opened up there, to go for it and work my way up that way. Maybe, you know, if once I was out of Anchorage, you know, jump into a different place and try to become a co there. But when Kelowna opened up, I was like, I have to go for it. Mm-hmm. Like it's just too good of an opportunity not to go for it.
It was more of a unique opportunity compared to the other ones because there wasn't the natural successor because they were both retiring.
Yeah. But even in my application, I wrote about the possibility of an internal person applying and me going up against an internal person. And I wrote out in that application both the pros and cons of that situation because, you know, it's a reality. And I said that, you know, basically the reason why I feel this way, this is why I feel like I'd be a great fit, but I can also understand the opposite. But no matter what, I'm coming in and my choice of co is going to be somebody on the team that wants it. Like, no doubt about it. Like that, nobody else outside. Need a continuation. So, what are some of the challenges you expect in the future? I'll let you answer that one. I've talked a lot.
Trading people away. I don't really expect it to happen very often, but I like the group we have in St. Louis, and if there ever was a good trade that would come up, even if it's the right trade to make for the team, it would still be hard for me to let a player go.
Yeah. My concern about the biggest challenge will be locker room activity on like the weekends that I have to go somewhere. Like it's very rare that I'm gone all weekend, and it's very rare that I'm so busy when I am gone all weekend. But during the summer, there are like spread out weekend events where I have to go coach basketball. And when I'm coaching basketball, I'm with the team all weekend. And so I don't have a whole lot of time on my phone. So, like, even though this was my first weekend in the Kelowna locker room, I really wasn't active until today because I was finally back home and able to be active again on Discord. But to answer out the final part of that question, the locker room's been great, absolutely fantastic, absolutely understanding and everything. So I am very thankful, and I've said it over and over again to them on how well they received me and welcomed me into being a Knight. And just in time is my co-GM of the Rats, Colonel Sanders. Hey, buddy.
Ooh, still alive.
Rats. And this is very true. You need to have a solid front office / war room and a good co that you work well with. And I feel like I have that. I'm very, very happy. And then, you know, I know St. Louis has that. You're part of the front office. You moved up to co, and Jimmy trusts you a lot.
Jimmy's great, full of knowledge. I feel like there's nothing I could ask him that he wouldn't know or be able to help me with.
And there was another question, since we're into the question, and we're almost at the hour mark. I'm sorry, Toaster. I know.
It's all right.
I know morning comes fast for you.
I'll sleep on the airplane. It's fine.
To make you feel better, I didn't get back until 1 a.m. last night. I'll have to tell you the whole story of what happened yesterday. I had my Coach Carter moment.
Oof.
Yeah, it was not great. But I didn't get back until like 1 a.m. I didn't get home until like 1:30, which meant I didn't go to sleep until 2:30, and I had to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, which made me have to leave the house at like 8. Mm-hmm. I was hating life this morning. Absolutely hating life. And I lie to myself every time I do that and say, you'll get a nap today. I never get a nap.
Every time I take a nap, I just wake up feeling worse than I did before the nap. So,
Hot Dog wrote us a question. Said, congrats on the cup, Toaster. I don't have a question for you, but the cup is cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hot Dog, I'm very sorry that Atlanta lost to Edmonton in 7.
Yeah, I can't take any credit for the cup. I just did one season of scouting. It's all Cake and her tactics and Jimmy.
I will say that I got to watch the Game 7 of the SHL Challenge Cup. I don't talk about SHL on here as much, but what a fantastic game. Fantastic game. So fun to watch.
Game 7 going into overtime for the cup. If I was a GM on that team, I would probably I'd pass away.
So Hot Dog had a couple questions for me, and I'll answer them for him because I told him I'd answer stuff. So he said, Patrick, you requested a few letters of recommendation to accompany your application for Kelowna GM. Rank those letters in terms of how well you think the letter writer vouched for you or some other quality index like that. So I asked for 5 letters of recommendation. I'm one of those people that I go above and beyond way too much. And so I asked for a letter of recommendation from Ace, and I'm going to go into why on each of these. Letter of recommendation from Ace, a letter of recommendation from you, Toaster, a letter of recommendation from Hot Dog, a letter of recommendation from Figgy, and a letter of recommendation from Coop. The reason why I asked for one from Ace is because he knows how I work on the media side. He knows he's seen the backstage of what I do and how I do it and how I plan, essentially. He sees my planning. So I knew that he could write about that. And it was the same thing for you. You work alongside of me on the show. You know, a lot of people don't know how much. I mean, today we didn't really put too much work into it. But we had our
sort of winging this one a little bit.
Yeah, but you see how much work I put into it, along with you, on planning and making sure the show runs smoothly. And then hot dog. I'll get to why in a second on hot dog. Figgy, because he's my GM now. I work in his front office, and he's known me the longest out of all those because of him drafting me. And then Coop because of being in the front office of Texas and our relationship as well. And then hot dog was the reason behind hot dog is I love hot dog. He has been a sounding board for me during certain times when I just need advice from somebody outside of that circle. And he was actually I remember when I got invited into the war room at Anchorage, the first message I saw at the top was from Hot Dog, and it said, "You need to put Patrick in this war room. He's locked in." Was the top message in there?
Not wrong. Not wrong.
And so, out of those 5, I only saw two of the letters. So I don't know what you wrote. I don't know what Hot Dog wrote, and I have no clue what Figgy wrote. I know what Ace and Coop wrote. So I've freedom of information requested it from the JHO. They will not give it to me. So ranking the letters, I would probably say Figgy probably vouched for me the highest, but it was very closely contested to Hot Dog. I know Ace vouched for me really well, and Coop did. I'm concerned at what you said. No, I know everybody vouched for me very, very well. And it'd be really hard to put that. And then the last question he asked before we hit this hour mark was, any plans to move the Knights to West Virginia? Absolutely not. That was only for an expansion team. I had no plans of moving any other team or rebranding any other team not named Vancouver.
So there's still hope we get a West Virginia team in the future, only if there's an expansion.
Only if there's an expansion and Shawnee leaves Vancouver. Colonel Sanders said Stocher didn't do anything except lead the Crows in the regular season scoring and points per game in the playoffs, or power play goals in the playoffs. See, you did do stuff.
The scoring in the regular season was very close. There was 3 of us at 75, 76.
Yep. Any final questions out there as we wrap this up?
I'm not going to give you my recommendation quite yet. I will say I only listed like 1 or 2 cons, and one of the cons was that I would have to compete against you now.
Yeah, that's good. Now I want to know what the second. I joke about the freedom of information. I have not asked. I asked one question to Hiff after I got the job. That was it. I won't say what it was. He said, "I can't answer that question. You know it because you're an HO as well." And all I said was, "You can't answer it, but you can GIF it." And he put a GIF, so we're good. Yes, it is. It is a Kelowna Knight shirt. Colonel asked that. So bought it off the SHL merch store. If you don't know how to get to that, just go to the forum, click more, and it is right there at SHL merchandise. I will have a Kelowna flag coming. I said to myself that it wasn't really bad price. They're very reasonably priced. What I want, and if anybody out there can create it so that I can get it over to Jess, who does a wonderful job with the merchandise store, make her life easier, I would love to get our SMHL Tonight logo on a flag, surrounded on the outside by the other team's logos.
That would be cool.
I know you would buy it too, so that we could have it in the backdrop.
There's room on the wall right here.
Yeah, I absolutely want that because I bought the Kelowna flag. I'll probably have it out every so often, but I don't want it to be a Kelowna St. Louis show. That is not what we're about. We've talked about it a lot today just because we've kind of
Where'd he go? Well, now I have the whole show to myself, now that he's gone. I'm confused.
I did it again.
Hey, there he is.
Me and Hiff have had issues today. There's a I'm not gonna click it. You can't see it because of my green screen. There it is, the red button. I keep thumbing that, and that is the back button
Yikes.
on the webpage. So when I do it when we're talking on StreamYard, it backs me out of the stream. So yeah, really want that. Want to buy it because I just don't want it to be like a Kelowna. If it doesn't ever get done, then I'll probably have a Kelowna Anchorage one behind me just to honor both.
Mhm.
But any final thoughts as we wrap up?
I'm just excited to get the off season going.
Yep.
Except I won't be able to start scouting for an entire week, so hopefully my war room can take some for me.
My my final thoughts today is going to be get us your suggestions for media pieces. What you like media piece wise,
Yes.
podcast wise, anything like that, graphics, everything. Send them to us. Send them DM me and Toaster. Tag us in general SHL chat or whatever server. We are in so many servers that
Or
it
tag
is
us
not
on the comments of
on
the post itself.
exactly anything. Just tag us. We want to start sharing those. We see a lot of them, but we want it to come from you guys so people can't say that we're just picking our favorites. We want to see the people's favorites, podcast, everything else. I talk about the ones I see, talk about the ones I read. Send them to us. Send them. If you're on the media team, tell them to send them to us. We don't care. We want them to come. Just send them.
Yep.
We want to start honoring those. So please.
And quick, before the end, we started doing it. The San Diego Title are looking for a new GM.
Yes. Thank you for that. Let me pull that. Oh no. Don't worry. I have another forum tag somewhere on my screen. Here it is. I'm like, oh look, there's another forum tag that I have. There it is. Job postings. Let's see what's up right now. Fantasy managers are being hired. 2.5 million. 5 spots available. Just needing to know how to use Discord and Google Sheets. Do check-ins for picks. Communicate. Deadline is this Thursday, June 5th. And it goes to Hodor, BBJY GM.
Hodor.
And then San Diego Title GM. Sad to see SD Core step down. Corey's been great, but he is doing so many things behind the scenes for the league that he is stepping down. Those applications are due by Friday, midnight, 11:59 Pacific time. To the head office. They might be Reno or Shoresnar, respectively. And
SHL Awards Committee hiring 2, it looks like.
Yep.
Those
go to IFBEL.
As long as you are not a prospect or currently on Edmonton, Texas, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Baltimore, Chicago, or Winnipeg, it looks like. They want to have team diversity so no one can be like, oh, you're just voting for your own teammates on there.
And I don't know if this is fully closed. This closes tomorrow. SHL head historian. Apply with the wannabe Finn with the Moose. Anybody with the SHL head office, and it closes tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. And I think those are the only current that are within date. I don't know if some of them's been filled yet. I don't know if Ruggsy's found all the rookie mentors yet. But that will And just to answer the question, since nobody's answered the trivia question, I'll go ahead and wrap up with that. The answer was Kelowna won it in season 69 playoffs 4-2 over St. Louis in the first round. Pre-expansion, pre-conferences, they faced off first round in season 69, and it was the same record as this season's 4-Star Cup. So the more you know.
Except the other team won.
Did I miss? Okay. Nope. No more comments. Toaster, you have a great vacation. You deserved
Shawnee's
it.
got one question in there. When am I playing Expedition 33? After vacation, probably get it on my PlayStation because my computer is too old and can't handle it.
There you go. That's how we'll wrap up. Enjoy your vacation. You deserve it. I will see you back here in. We'll still talk during vacation.
Yeah.
I'll bug you.
It's supposed to rain a couple days. I'll be on my phone, I'm sure.
Well, enjoy it. And also, final thing, happy Pride Month to everybody. Started Pride Month this week. So we love you, SHL Universe, and have a good night. Bye.
Good night.